Hello friends, in this session we are going to discuss about important questions for the entrance examinations like MSET, NEET, JEE Mains, IIT and BITSET. So in this the previous year JEE Mains question paper questions are discussed here. So let us go with our first question. Here, peptidization is the process of. Peptidization is nothing but it is reverse to the coagulation process. Coagulation in the sense precipitation process. When the precipitate was taken and treated with conversion of precipitate into colloidal solution is called peptidization. It is a completely reverse to the coagulation or precipitation process. Peptidization is the process of converting precipitate into colloidal sol by shaking with dispersion medium. When dispersion medium was added and thorough shaking of that solution, there is a formation of colloidal solution. So colloidal solution preparation is possible by this process called peptidization. So it is also known as deflocculation. Flocculation is nothing but coagulation or precipitation. So reverse for this is called deflocculation, which is also called as peptidization. Let us go to our next question. 2-methyl pentatein on reaction with HBr in the presence of peroxide forms addition product. The number of possible isomers for this compound are. When we are taking 2-methyl pentatein, 2-methyl pentatein was taken here, second carbon having carbon-carbon double bond. When it is treated with HBr, here addition of HBr in the presence of peroxide follows anti-Markovnikov rule, and the negative part of the reagent added to the carbon having more number of hydrogens in the presence of peroxide is possible. If peroxide is not there, this bromo group is attached to the carbon having this least number of hydrogens. But in the presence of peroxide, this negative part of the reagent is added to the carbon having more number of hydrogen. That's the reason why we will get 2-bromo-3-methyl pentane as the major product. Okay, so here the question is number of possible stereoisomers we have to find out, and the second and third carbon we have chiral centers. Chiral centers are nothing but the carbon having 4 different functional groups around this is called chiral center. This carbon have 4 different groups around this, and the third carbon also have 4 different functional groups. Hence, here 2 chiral centers are present in the given compound. When we are taking this molecule, in order to find out the stereoisomers given by the compound, we have to apply the formula 2 to the power n. N stands for number of chiral centers given by the compound. Number of chiral centers are 2. That's why 2 to the power of 2. Here we will get 4 different isomers by this given compound. Hence, the correct option will be option number 2. And the next question, which of the following compound will form significant amount of meta product during the mononitration reaction? In mononitration reaction, so any monosubstituted benzene can be considered as orthopara directing group or meta directing group based on its nature. When the functional group present on the benzene is placer affecting group, that is giving orthopara direction. Orthopara direction will be there. Orthopara direction will be there. When it is minus A affecting group, what happens? It is meta directing group. So when we are applying this nitration process, the reaction carried under acidic conditions. So here first compound OCOCH3, it is the ester functional group, which is the orthopara directing group. NHC double bond of CH3 is orthopara directing group, but here nitrogen containing this bulky functional group, so that steric hindrance will avoid the ortho substitution. Only it will give para substituted product. When we are taking phenol, it is a active reagent which used to release the electrons into the system. Hence, it is orthopara directing group, ring activating group. When we are taking this aniline, actually aniline is the orthopara directing group itself, but in case of nitration, the reaction carried under acidic condition. That's the reason why amine group is converted into ammonium functional group, which is converted into minus A affecting group because lack of electrons are there. Electrons are utilized for the bond formation with hydrogen. That's the reason why it is not able to release electrons into the benzene ring. Hence, it behaves like a meta directing and the meta nitro aniline as the major product. The option 2 is satisfying this statement which is given in this problem. Our next question, increasing order of reactivity of following halides for SN1 reaction. Here options are given. This is CH3, CH, CH2, CH3 having chlorofunctional group at second position, CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. This is a primary alcohol, primary. alkyl halide and paramethoxy C6H4. C6H4 stands for benzene ring. On this we have CH2Cl. Paramethoxy benzyl chloride is IUPAC name of this compound, and this is a propyl chloropropane, and this is 2-chlorobutane. Among all these, first one is secondary alkyl halide, this is primary alkyl halide, this is benzyl halide. Compared to all, SN1 reaction reactivity mainly depends upon the stability of formed carbocation in this reaction. Here it generates secondary carbocation and the compound 2 generates primary carbocation. Here this compound generates a benzyl carbocation. Here the stability of benzyl carbocation is extremely high because electron releasing methoxy functional group liberates electrons into the ring, so that these ring electrons are delocalized and it is highly resonance stabilized. When we are taking this secondary carbocation, here this carbocation is stabilized by hyperconjugative structures by ethyl and methyl functional group. It is also stable, but high stability is given by resonance carbocation, and the next is about secondary carbocation. The least stable among the following is primary carbocation. Carbon which is attached with one side alkyl group is called a primary, hence the reactivity order will be 3 followed by 1 followed by 2. Option number 1 is satisfying this statement, hence first one is the correct answer. And the next question, 1 gram of carbonate, 1 gram of carbonate when added with excess of HCl produces 0.01186 moles of carbon dioxide. The molar mass of M2CO3 in gram mole inverse is. Here, metal carbonate was taken. This metal carbonate, when treated with HCl, there is a formation of metal chloride, water, and carbon dioxide is possible. Metal carbonate, we are using 1 gram of metal carbonate. During the reaction, the carbon dioxide generated is 0.01186. Metal carbonate is basic compound. When treated with HCl, salt plus water along with the liberation of carbon dioxide is possible. 1 gram generates 0.01186 moles of carbon dioxide. 1 gram of metal carbonate generates 0.0166 grams of carbon dioxide. Then x grams of metal carbonate generates how many grams of this carbon dioxide? Then it becomes x into 0.1186 moles. X into 0.1186 moles is equal to 1 mole of metal carbonate was taken. That's why x is equal to 1 by 0.1186. After calculating this, we will get x is equal to 84.3. 84.3 is the molar mass of metal carbonate, used in this reaction. So option 1 is satisfying this question. The next question, the most abundant elements by mass in the body in healthy human adult, oxygen is 61.4%, carbon is 22.9%, hydrogen is 10%, and the nitrogen is 2.6%. The weight which the 75 kg person would gain if hydrogen atom is replaced by deuterium atom. 2 hydrogen is nothing but deuterium atom. So here in the healthy human body, as already we know, obviously oxygen content will be extremely high. 61% body weight is composed of oxygen, and the second is about 22.9 carbon will be there, and 10% nitrogen, and the least will be hydrogen. This is nitrogen 2.6, hydrogen 10% will be there. What we are doing, we are replacing that hydrogen with its isotope deuterium. Then what will be the change in the weight? Okay, in order to calculate that weight change due to the introduction of deuterium, we have to do this formula. 75 kg is the weight of the person. Weight of the hydrogen, only we have to find the weight of the hydrogen is equal to total weight, that is 75 into percentage of hydrogen by 100. Total weight into 10 by 100. 10 is the percentage of hydrogen present in the human body. When we calculate this, the weight due to hydrogen is 75 kg. Here it is mentioned in percentage. Here it is mentioned in terms of weight. When hydrogen replaced with deuterium, deuterium contains 1 proton and 1 neutron, whereas hydrogen or protium contains only proton. There is no neutrons are present. Hence, deuterium molecular atomic weight is 2. So here weight of hydrogen is 7.5. Then weight of deuterium becomes 15 kg, because it is the double of hydrogen, because weight of hydrogen atomic weight is 1, atomic weight of deuterium is 2. Hence it will be doubled. 7.5 kg is hydrogen weight, then 15 kg is the weight of deuterium. Then Net gain of the weight is equal to already 7.5 weight is given by hydrogen, 75 kg person, but when deuterium introduced, what happens? Its weight increased by 15. Already 7.5 is there, that's why we have to subtract this 7.5 value from 15. So net gain is 7.5 kg. To this 75, we have to add 7.5 kg, that is the total weight of the person if hydrogen is replaced by deuterium atom. So which is satisfying? 7.5 kg is the increase in the weight of that person. The formation of which of the following polymer involves hydrolysis reaction, where hydrolysis reaction is carried in the polymer formation. Bakelite is a condensation polymer of phenol and formaldehyde. Nylon is a condensation polymer of ethylene diamine and adipic acid, hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. Terylene is also polymer. It is a condensation polymer, polyester compound. One is terephthalic acid, second is ethylene glycol. Nylon is formed by it is the homopolymer which is formed by only one type of monomer, that is caprolactam. Caprolactam is a cyclic amide which subjected to hydrolysis, then only nylon 6 formation is possible. Hence the correct answer will be nylon 6. It is the condensation polymer of caprolactam, which is a cyclic amide. When it is hydrolyzed, then only we can subject it to polymerization. Option 4 is the correct answer. Our next question, E naught is equal to 1.36. This is for chlorine converted into chloride. It is a reduction potential value. E naught for chromium plus 3 to chromium minus 0.74 volts will be there. E naught of Cr2O7 minus 2 chromium plus 3 is given by 1.33 volts. E naught for manganate to manganese plus 2 1.51 volts is there. Among all, strongest reducing agent. In order to find the strongest reducing agent, we have to consider their E naught values. So strongest reducing agent is nothing but itself it is the itself it involved in oxidation, then only it becomes strongest reducing agent. Highest oxidation potential when present, then only it becomes the strongest reducing agent. Okay, among all the options given, the species which laying in the topmost position of electrochemical series, here plus 1.36 nothing but reduction potential, whose value, that means gain of electrons will be there. When it is in minus 0.74, this indicates that electron releasing tendency will be there. That's the reason why it involved in oxidation and acts as a strong reducing agent. When chromate converted into chromium plus 3, 1.33, again it is a reduction potential, that means having tendency to gain the electrons. So this manganate to manganese plus 2 also having reduction potential value. That's the reason why the correct option will be chromium plus 3 converted into chromium minus 0.74 volts of current generated. This is only the correct option, chromium plus 3. Sorry, chromium metal formation, chromium metal formation is possible. So according to electrochemical series, minus 0.74, the strongest reducing agent will be chromium. So it is the strongest reducing agent. The correct option will be option number 4. In the following reactions, zinc is respectively in following two reactions we have to find out. The zinc oxide when treated with sodium oxide, formation of sodium zincate is possible. Zinc oxide when treated with carbon dioxide, zinc carbonate is possible. In both the reactions, how zinc is active? In general, zinc having amphoteric nature, amphoteric in the sense having both the tendency like acid as well as base. When zinc oxide treated with sodium oxide, what happens? Sodium oxide is more basic in nature. That's the reason why here zinc oxide behaves like an acid. So in the first case, zinc oxide is the acidic in nature. In the second case, carbon dioxide, it is non-metallic oxide, hence it is acidic in nature. When this acid is treated with zinc oxide behaves like a base and this formation of zinc carbonate is possible. In the second case, it is working like a base. First reaction acid, second reaction base, which is satisfying this condition we have to see. Base, acid, no. Acid, acid, no. Acid, base. Option number 3 is satisfying this condition. Hence, option number 3 is the correct answer. Our next question, the major product obtained in the following reaction. When we are taking C6H5Br, CHBr, CH2C6H5, when it is treated with tertiary butoxide. Tertiary butoxide is a strong base. When it is treated with this compound, dehydrobromination is possible, and formation of carbon-carbon double bond is possible. It used to generate carbon-carbon double bond in between these two. That's the reason why C6H5 CH double bond CH C6H5 formation is possible. Then due to the presence of bulky base, product will be alkene. Alkene as the major product. So here the alkene generation is possible. So option number 1 is satisfying this. Which of the following species is not paramagnetic? In order to get the nature of magnetic behavior of the compound, if lone pair of electrons are odd electrons present in the compound, that works like a paramagnetic compound. If all the electrons are paired, that behaves like a diamagnetic substance. When we are taking CO or carbon monoxide, it is isoelectronic with nitrogen. As already we know, according to molecular orbital theory, nitrogen is diamagnetic in nature, 14 electron system. Again, carbon monoxide also 14 electron system, hence it is also diamagnetic. So it is only the correct answer, not paramagnetic. Oxygen is paramagnetic, it is 16 electron system. 2 odd electrons are present in its outer shell, antibonding molecular orbital, hence it is paramagnetic. B2 is also paramagnetic due to the presence of unpaired electrons. Nitric oxide is also paramagnetic in nature. The correct option, which is not paramagnetic, is carbon monoxide. It is diamagnetic in nature. pK of weak acid and pKb of weak base are how much? 3.2 and 3.4 respectively. The pH of their salt solution will be. In order to calculate pH of the solution, the formula will be 7 plus half into pKa minus half into pKb. So in order to calculate weak acid, weak base pH value, the formula will be 7 plus half into pKa minus half